What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another Genius Days. Today we're talking about spirituality and entrepreneurship. Okay, so if you're an entrepreneur watching, or if even you're a spiritual man or woman watching, you are going to take a lot away from today. So basically, quick disclaimer: don't break the laws of the land. Whatever you teach of this information, just mention to the people where you got it from. You know what I mean? Just like give us some credit here. You know what I mean? Though this information, of course, is freely available, you can distribute it amongst whoever you want. But just making a note of that, Sunday is today, set to be a holy day where we take you to church here at Genius Days. Basically, we're here to drop some facts. You know what I mean? And first of all, when we look at these two different topics of entrepreneurship and spirituality, or as Ivan says, entrepreneurity, basically they seem like two seemingly opposites, like two contradictory things, but actually we're starting to blend and understand that it's complementary, actually, that abundance is a spiritual concept. And the way I see it, spirituality is freedom, right? Freedom means also chaos. So it's like a fish not in a fishbowl. It's free to swim wherever it wants to. Religion tries to make order out of that chaos, but entrepreneurship is pure order, and both work with systems. So that's something that comes up for me as well. Is like one is a belief system and one is a money-making system. So both work in that regard. But yeah, that's just the first initial things that came up for me. Does anybody have any points that they want to riff off of?
So we must say that there is no virtue in poverty. There is no virtue in not having wealth. It's not a positive thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a commendable thing. You got no money. All right, first of all, whoever told you that stupid bullshit was fucking wrong. They used the stupid ass fucking quote of the love for money is the root of all evil. Shut your bitch ass up. No, it's not. Okay. All right. Now, let me just. So look, we break things down. We can easily break, the human levels of energy into three basic categories: the animal world, the animalistic mind, the animalistic being, which we still are. We can still tap into it. The intellectual realm and the spiritual realm. Now, intellectual is that which robots can be here, smart people can be here, just, nerds, right? We level up. We, as humans, we like to take everything from the animal world and we make a ritual of it, so that we add more intelligence into it, so that we're no longer animals. That is something that we actually crave. This is why somebody dies, we don't just leave them there like the animals, let the earth, Mother Nature take them. No, we put them into a casket. We make the whole funeral, right? We don't like being seen taking a shit. We don't like that shit. Animals don't give a fuck about that, right? Intellectuality. But see, the intellectual realm can only take you to a certain place, right? And someone might say making money is intellectual. Well, no, because a robot, very sophisticated machinery made from intellectuality, would not sit around reading the newspaper to understand the stock market so that they could invest, because money is in the spiritual realm. You see, we made up money so that we could survive. A robot would not use money, right? It's in the spiritual realm because it takes an advanced level of beingness to really generate money. And those people who just want money for free, for nothing, who just kind of want they're in there in this wish mode, wishing for wealth, you're non-spiritual, because the truly spiritual person does not want something for nothing. All right. Before I go crazy, you know what I'm saying, I'll pass on the torch. What y'all feeling?
I like what you said, man. The whole idea of abundance and the whole idea of there cannot exist something without nothing. You need to provide services. And immediately I was reminded of all of us have value to give, right? And all of us need to, or need to, or want to, be rich, be this, be that. But you need to create a system that not only helps you, but helps the surrounding people. It is the more people you can help, or the more people your system help in the form of a business, a cure, a solution, you name it. Of course, a more appreciation that you'll be given, the more trust that you'll be given. And that trust could be in the form of your reputation, as well as, of course, the income or the increase of income that you'll get. Now, what I've noticed is, and this is taking not just my company, but the company that I'm helping build with my dad, is we specifically try to be the middleman and get connections between, the buyer and the sellers. And through that, we become the most important pawn within the game. And what you start to notice is there will always be an abundance of a question, a need for material, depending on the market, or an abundance of said material, depending on the season. Now, as you learn these things, what you start to notice is it's less that, and I'm trying to catch my words here without giving too much away. It's less about, just servicing people and that's it. It's about building things with people, because people need your service. But if people want to know about you, how can you provide something? And even if they know about you, how can they trust you when you're not even marketing yourself, etc., etc., etc. Now, I see some questions or frown faces from both Sumit and Alejandro. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, just real quick, I just wanted to clarify one more
Of
time
course.
of why money is spiritual is because it's not real. Like, it genuinely is not real. Like, it's not it's a thing that we like all agree upon, that it's worth something, but it is not worth anything. Right? It doesn't have any money. You can't put money down and then the money grows a tree. It doesn't, in that sense, it's outside of this realm, right? But we're because we're multi-dimensional creatures, it's that dimension outside of this physical realm. I just want to clarify that.
That's awesome, man. Ryan, I like what you said about, the fact that yes, a business is for the service element, because when working with Joe, he told us this, right? Joe's our business coach. He said, you don't need money to make money. You need customers to make money, right? And so it's interesting how the word customers has the word custom in it. And customs, you have customs in different religions, right? You have these traditions that you follow, or these, in spirituality also, you have certain customs, certain rituals that you do. You know what I mean? And so to connect with others, we can't see that as a transactional thing all the time, because you're going to lose that element of that person's trust. And the greatest trust that you can have is in the infinite. So when you can look at this person not just as a commodity, but as a soul, as a spirit, as a person that you're interacting with that is on the metaphysical level as well as the physical, then you start to make more money, and also you start to make more change happen, because your spiritual beliefs go with you everywhere, right? It's not like, it doesn't stop after, okay, I'm taking a shit, God is not with me or something like this, right? It doesn't randomly just stop, right? It's always there with you. And so that's the thing. It's what is the essence, or what is the character that you're building alongside money? And do you believe that you have an ability to make money. Because like I said, entrepreneurship is a money system, spirituality is a belief system, and both are to do with expansion, right? It's like both, like one is expansion of the soul, you could say, and one is expansion of the economy or a more fuller life. So, you know, when we're focusing on this expansion, it's like a lot of people mention this idea of money being energy, right? And so when you look at it as energy, it's like how much energy are you putting behind your money? Just like how much energy are you putting behind like your spiritual work, right? Because both are going to count and counterbalance each other like this dance. So if you have too much spirituality and you're not making money off of it, that's just to tell you you're in that inner chaos. You're in the exploration phase of like, oh, you're seeing things from different perspectives. You're talking to entities. You're astral traveling to different dimensions, but you don't have a structure or a way to actually tell people what that's about, or you're not sharing anything with people so that they can expand alongside you. And I think a conscious entrepreneur knows that, hey, I'm getting all of these downloads and different things, but I'm also using it to help others so that they can see the truth. And maybe from me telling my story as a storyteller, other people are going to start to wake up in a sense. So does anything come up for anybody?
You know, what I want to mention is that money's actually very easy. It's an easy topic to understand. It's not that complex. And making money itself it's fairly simple. You know, either you have a product that you can provide for very cheap, that you can that can be provided for millions of people, right? Or you just have one product that is the best of the best and you can charge whatever you want. All right. But it always comes down to what somebody needs, what somebody does not have, and you are providing that, right? And let's take a look at like why is real estate, why is gold so valuable, right? Well, because it's gonna last a very long time, right? That's why you go to the store, you buy some cheap shit, you pay cheap, you pay little because it's cheap, it's gonna break, right? And that's why coaching is much more expensive, because the changes are lasting for life, right? And so I just wanted to put that out there, that either you create a product that you can reach millions of people with, right? $1 product, you can reach millions. It's like Walmart, you know, or let's see, like a famous, like, I don't know, I was gonna say like a reference, but like most of the people here are not from the USA. You know, I was gonna say like, let's just say Snickers. It's one product. It's simple to make, doesn't cost a lot to make, very cheap. A lot of people can buy it. But so many people are buying it, and that's why they're rich, right? That's it, you know. But you just gotta get it out there, right? And like, how do you get it out there? Talk to more people. And it's not that because you talk to them, then they're gonna buy from you. No, it's if you talk with them and then they talk about you with somebody else, right? And they're like, oh, bro, who's that? I want to know them. Right? Oh, someone's going through something, right? Let's just say you talk to 20 people, right? You tell them who you is, what you do, right? With no embarrassment, right? That is important. With no fucking embarrassment, right? You have to own that shit, bro, right? You can't be embarrassed about what you do. And you must be able to say what it is you do in a very short sentence. What's up, Zay? You must be able to be like, I do this, boom, right? Like you must have your own little elevator pitch already ready to go. locked and loaded, like a gun, boom, you know what I'm saying, ready to shoot that shit, right? And then that phrase of what it is that you do gets spread around. It go here, ding, 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 right? And then someone says, "Oh, bro, fuck, man, I'm starting my own business, you know, but I don't know nothing about websites." Oh, bro, that's crazy. I just met a guy the other day who does websites, right? And see, it's never about, like, it's just like, if you put it out there and people start talking about it, then more people start talking about it, then more people start talking about it. So it becomes this whole thing of like, just spread the word and be seen. Be ready to be seen, right? Now, that's the scary part, right? Because when you open up yourself to attacks when you are seen, right? Just a bunch of hating ass bitches. That's what it is, man. They're out there. That's real. But no matter what, that can't stop anybody, right? Because they were gonna hate on you if you were poor anyway. you know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there.
Man, I totally agree with you in what you said about being seen. Like, we talk about attention goes where energy flows, right? And I've always wondered, like, how come these celebrities like Cristiano Ronaldo and all these people, like, how come they get so much money, right? Whereas someone who's a scientist, like working in the background, like not even showing his face, is not making as much. It's like, you know, I wondered that, and maybe, and just this is just a theory right now, but Cristiano Ronaldo's being seen. His face is on billboards. It's like, you know, the attention on him, more people are thinking about him, right? And more people are, it's in people's subconscious mind because he's on the TV. And so that's accumulating more energy, therefore more money potential. You see, so yeah, you got to get over this block of like, oh man, I got to be invisible, you know, got to stay hidden. Like, that is actually going to not help you monetarily. And the conversations create the conversion, right? If you don't have conversations, you can't convert somebody. So that's the thing. Is like what you said about the elevator pitch. I love that, man. Like, I had this idea of like looking at my younger self, like maybe 5 years back, and talking, if I met him in an elevator, you know, what would I say to that guy, you know, to have him on my program? You know, like, how would I convince him that, bro, I know exactly what you're going through. Like, this is going to change your life. I was where you are right now, and I can help you. And that creates a different level of spirituality, right? Because it's like, you have already traveled the path that they're going to start. They're at a different level of the hero's journey than you, right? So it's like that I got you energy. It's like if you're sitting on the table and someone starts talking about what you're really good at, right? Like Ryan, if someone starts talking about data or something, right, on the table, you're going to be like, dude, I know this. Like,
You know it.
You're like, this is what I'm good at. Like, this is what I know. Like, you're going to start talking about it, and you're going to introduce yourself much more effortlessly. So it's about that effortlessness that we're talking about when we're merging spirituality with business, where your values have got to match your business. If your value is authenticity, and like you're doing something that's inauthentic in your business, it's not going to flourish. It's not going to feel effortless, right? So when you have top values like, okay, loyalty, and the people in my work culture, the most loyal people you've ever seen, you're going to thrive faster rather than if you have these, you know, if you're out of alignment, you could say. And maybe, you know, I'm thinking of Ryan when I say this, aligned data strategy, but yeah. That's what came up for me, man. The idea of like being seen and just, you know, talking to your younger self as a customer.
Nice. Yo, Gio, I'm gonna get to your question in a bit. But first I have to mention this. Let's look at who are the wealthiest people in the world and what religion do they follow. Now we're gonna look at America, right? In America, the Jews are on the top. Christians are in the middle, and Protestants at the fucking bottom, bro. Because they're more radical. You see, the more radical you are, the more difficult it is to make money. The Christians, they make fairly good for themselves. They do well for themselves. But the Jews make the most money, right? And this is real. This is observable. It's not like, it's not because of like, the fucking Rothschilds are taking over the world or whatever type of shit, but it's just because of the values that they have. It is what the religion itself tells you about money. And their religion, it's important for you to start to learn about money at a young age. They don't hide the fact about money. They don't, like in other cultures, they're like, oh, we don't talk about money here at the house, or we don't talk about money at the table, right? Like it's a bad thing, right? It's kind of fucked up, and they're instilling the value that this is what I concluded was that, from the reading and stuff like that, was that the story of the Jews is basically like that we have to try harder than everyone because we're Jews and they're going to come after us. Their story is the story of I've been prosecuted my whole life, like literally, the fucking, for eons, they've been prosecuted. People have come after them. And so their own storyline is, if I need to work harder because I'm Jewish, and people will try to hold me back because of that. And that's just the storyline. Is it true? Is it not true? Well, it's true for them, right? And they use it to prosper. Like that's, what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it comes down to our storyline, right? So now Gio's question. When it came down for business, you could use, your birth chart, and it'll tell you a lot of interesting things about you and what sort of, gifts you have. And so that is the thing that you can use, is you can borrow, what are my gifts? What am I actually good at? And what do people need? Right? Because if you're really good at, I don't know, man, like if you're just like really good at tic-tac-toe, you're just the fucking world best at tic-tac-toe, I don't think you're going to make a lot of money though. Right? Because it's not very needed. Right? But if you're great at communication and you're great at video games and you start Twitch streaming, right? People need entertainment. People want entertainment, right? Without entertainers, we'd be bored. And so this is why people like fucking Beyonce be making a hella fucking money, right? Because at the end of the day, attention is the most valuable resource. If you can get somebody's attention, you have somebody's mind. And this is why ads, that people who do ads, Facebook, even if you didn't look at the ad for a very long time and you just glimpsed at it, they still gonna charge you because they had your attention for a bit. So they're gonna have to get paid. Right? This is why fucking Kim Kardashian get hella money. She get like paid like $500,000 from a fucking Instagram post. Because she has your attention. Whether you hate her or not, she got your attention. She's in your mind and you're thinking about her. Right? And eventually you're gonna buy some KKW products. you're gonna buy some Skims. Bro, straight up, bro. After I saw that in the Olympics, Skims was providing like clothes for the Olympic people. I started literally internally, I went, oh damn, I want to get some Skims for my girl. Like literally just like that. Right? And then you start to see why Nike, they've been doing this for a long time. They've been sponsoring people and they've been giving out their clothes like that. Right? because as long as you see it, now you're in their mind, right? And so let's just say like one of my new strategies that I'm using is like when it comes to my book, right? I'm just giving it out. Like I got a bunch of copies, and I'm like, oh boom, oh boom, oh boom, boom, right? I'll be like, oh, I think you really like my book, and I give it out, right? And then little people will be like, oh, how much you sell this for? Yeah, it's on my website for $20. Here, but I'll give you $20, right? And it's like, just give it away, right? And it's serving me actually, because more people are reading my book. I'm now in their mind. My philosophy is in their mind, right? And they're more likely to come back for something else later, right? And so if I could leave you with one thing, would be that enter somebody's mind. That's it. Enter somebody's mind. Gio, I feel like I didn't even answer your question, bro. Wait, no, I did. But yeah, use your skills, bro. Use your skills, get creative, and get into passive income.
Brother, that was dope, man. That was amazing. The first thing you said was getting people's attention, writing the story, how you give out your book. That's freaking amazing, man. I got my own story. I got a weird one. I don't know if you tried. I mentioned this to some of my brothers. It was I submitted a circuitous when I was 19, and ever since that day, man, it's been a hell of a ride. I'm 26 now, but if I write that story to show people a different perspective, holy smokes, man! It's that sounds like, not charging people, just getting more people's attention, man. That's amazing. There's something else you said, man, but I can't repeat it for some reason. What else he said? Attention, story. Fuck. Oh man, I'll try to remember.
Being in people's minds.
Yeah. Man, but yeah, that's all I got. I'll think about it. If I remember, I'll let you know.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, thanks. That's helpful for sure.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You mind if I interject real quick?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Right. So besides the bird chart, you can also look at, quizzes by wealth dynamics. One of the things that I decided to do was get in contact with my business coach and ask around, because I do believe in working towards your strengths. And now after I then did this very amusing personality test, which cost me some money, but whatever, let's call it investments. I managed to find out I'm in the wrong fucking job. And that just gives you such a mind fuck, because I've been doing data for at least 6 years, data analysis, consulting, whatever, only to find out my characteristics, my strengths lie mostly in connecting with people. And that is not necessarily the core business of data. Unless you look at from a data consultant's perspective, well, it's always been about networking, finding clients, marketing yourself, building a network, building a tribe around you to sustain. If I have too much work, I can delegate it to the next, pay him part of my fee. And as I've looked back and how such quizzes has helped me is not to be disheartened by, oh, I should have been smarter, I should have done this quiz a long time ago. No, it's about now that I have all this experience, Gil, and now that I know this information, how can I use it to my advantage? It's the same thing with martial arts. How can I use my strengths to my advantage? How can I leverage my resources? How can I maximize what works for me and minimize the things that does not? And in that, we start to find more clues about how people get wealthier, because I don't want to be stuck at a dead-end job and get frustrated when I know I get an extreme kick out of connecting with people, talking to people, making business deals, calling people up. offering services, helping people out. I mean, this week only, after building report video chart and talk about, dubious stories, let's say, we connected and we think about, how can I like the guy? How can we start working together? And that's the game I like to play. Ivan, what's up?
Yeah, a lot of things came into my mind. Let me start here. It's a privilege to work. It's a privilege to make money. And once you have money, you can begin to dedicate yourself to things that matter more to you, like spending time with your family, like going on spiritual retreats, going fasting, detoxing yourself. You can't do that if you're only focused on working every single day. You will not thrive. Now, my personal definition of rich is someone that can do whatever they want, whenever they want, right? And if you don't have health, to me, you don't have wealth. And there's something else that I wanted to say. Maybe it'll come back to me. Yeah. But yeah, like for me personally, like, oh, I got you, right? Passive income, right? I wanted to get into the topic of passive income because this is like when you work, you do something and that work itself continues to thrive on itself, right? It's like a tree, you plant a tree, you take good care of it for a while. Eventually, over time, the tree just takes care of itself. You don't even need to water it anymore. It'll do all that by itself. It'll retain the water that it needs. And so there's a really cool exercise that I recommend people do. And it's just write down 25 things, 25 ways that people make passive income. It doesn't necessarily have to be you, right? But you can write ways that people make passive income. And 25 is a very decent number, right? Because you'll get to a point. See, when I was doing it, I got to a point where I was like, oh, fuck, I think I ran out, right? But see, if you can't make it to 25, it's showing you that you're lacking the creativity to ever actually come up with something that you could actually thrive off of independently, right? Now, I want to give you a few ideas, right? Trucking. You can buy a truck, right? Get a trucker on it. He does the deliveries. He keeps doing deliveries. Do. Now you just got to have a dispatcher, right? You set it up, you're Gucci, right? Stocks, crypto, good stuff, right? Writing a book, right? You just set up the book, and people will buy it, if it's a good book, and the word will go around, like, I know Sumed he's given me some books, and then I've gone on to just purchase more books from this author, right? Let's just say writing a course. You set up a course, you set up an ad, you keep it running on loop, they keep on generating money, right? An online course, right? One of those where you make it, you don't have to be there, right? That's a good idea. There's a lot of billboards. This is another one. You just purchase a billboard. You set it up, you put it in the ground, and then you just got people rent it. People will rent the space, right? Because the attention again, right? These are all some really great ideas. You got to come up with 25 of your own and 25 that you see other people in the world doing. And then from there, you could essentially pick from that if you really wanted to. One that I want to do is I want to begin like renting out cars. Like I know that that like you can give your car to a company who rents them out, and then they just use it. It's insured, right? And essentially the car is paying off itself, right? You don't have to pay for your, the car payments or the insurance, in essence, because as people are using it, they're, paying you to use it, right? And you will have your own individual car, right? And then you could have, 5 cars with them, and you're generating an extra, 25K a year, right? Off of doing not that much, right? Now you're gonna think 25K, it's not a lot, but some people make a whole 25K in 1 year, you know. Now I remember now the story. A line in the Jews is incredible, inspiring. Fire, love, you, gesture. Not too sure what that meant, but I think it probably came with a lot of heart when you typed it. Sumed, what's coming up with you, brother?
Man, what's coming up for me is like the importance of patience, you know, in terms of how we need both patience in business and spirituality in order to sustain a practice. And well, first of all, it's a survival value, right? Like when women see that, oh, this guy's patient, like he's in it for the long term, right? He's not just a, get in, get out kind of guy. He's doing his thing over and over and over again with consistency. And so I think there is definitely something in terms of that. And also impatience, I think, is the opposite of flow state, where you're so attached to time. You're like, oh man, it's 5:30 already. Like you're you're really reminding yourself that there is this construct, and you get so chained by that construct. Whereas patience is being more conscious of the time passing, but it's more fluid. And so that doesn't mean waiting passively. You still got to do things as you're being patient, right? What people assume patience is just like sitting back and just like chilling with like pina colada. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about massively aligned action, but detached from the outcome, right? And knowing that this is a long-term game. A very quick, shameless plug. I got Christian. I sent him my cash flow meditation, and he did it, and he found himself, almost getting out of debt and reaching out. There's people reaching out to him for these old machines that he used to make. So definitely message me if you want that, because it goes into changing your financial thermostat, or the limit of where you think you can earn, basically, is what I guide you through that meditation. Is basically, we all have this number in our minds that, oh, I can't go beyond this number. What that meditation does is it rises that financial ceiling for you so that you can access a better range of wealth, in a sense. So, and also, yeah, just to mention off of what Ryan G said about wealth dynamics, I mean, that's an investment too, like, $99 or whatever it is, right? Right, Ryan? I think it's like $100. Yeah, around that. So like once you find out what your wealth dynamic profile is, what it does is it helps you get more clarity on what type of way that you make money. It's like, what is your wealth profile? So basically, like, I'm a creator, Ryan's a connector, I believe. Richard Branson is not making money like Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett isn't making money like, I don't know, Tyra Banks or something. So everybody has their own profile in their lane. So you got to stay in your lane and just dominate in that lane. And so, yeah, that really helps, because as you saw with Ryan, he's like, man, I got to question my whole like idea of how I've been making money all this time, right?
You have no idea, Sumi, but continue.
I have some idea, but yeah. But yeah, man, knowing that like I was the creator archetype kind of gave, like, unconsciously I knew it, but then once it showed me on paper, like, you are this archetype, or you are this wealth dynamic, it gave me more of a leverage and a permission slip to just go all into creating. And if you guys see my Instagram or my YouTube, I post every day, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just on it constantly. There's not like a day that I miss that. And even if I do miss it, I make up for it the next day as a rendition that, to make up for that lost time, or the fact that I haven't followed through. So it's like that commitment, that discipline is really going to take your wealth to a whole other level, right? Because I had people reaching out to me, like, that a post that I made, like, I don't know, like 7 years back or something. And they're like, bro, I saw this one post that you did. I'm like, I don't even remember that post, bro. You know what I mean? Randomly, they reach out to you. And that's what happens. Like in these pockets of these moments where you're accumulating more status, accumulating more wealth, being more spiritual, helping and serving the planet, you're going to get these little pockets of time that you get these little aha moments or people giving you this added abundance. And I don't know if you guys have experienced something like that where you're so effortless with it and suddenly like you get some money from an old aunt who died or something, or you randomly get like a check in the mail or something random, like these synchronicity money moments that happen. So that's all about like allowing that to happen and actually believing that, hey, yeah, I deserve this surprise of money that comes in. Like I actually am deserving of that. But yeah, that's it.
Yo, could I ask a few questions?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a great topic, and I want to get some questions in. So one thing you mentioned, Sumed, was the patience thing, and one thing I struggle with is like balancing, like having a sense of urgency, and then also like the patience, because you guys probably know how it is. Working the 9 to 5 and getting that check makes it comfortable, and like even though I know all these concepts, like the main thing is just getting myself to like do those menial tasks, to like do the side thing, and like when you're first getting started, it's hard to like see that, like I do know it's possible, but it's like really committing to it with the check. So like the question is mainly how do you balance that, the comfortability of getting a check and like having the sense of urgency, because it's so easy to procrastinate.
Purpose, bro. That's it. I would switch the word sense of urgency to just excitement, right? Like, I mean, I do have a job, that requires it takes most of my time throughout my day. But yeah, I'm still here on Sunday, right? And so like eventually I'm gradually gonna shift it to where I leave that job, I put somebody else in that position, right? I generate money off of their money, but not as much. I'm gonna still generate some, right? But then most of my income is gonna come from this side, right? And what I would say is, first create something of value, right? Just like dedicate yourself to creating it, right? You can, what is it that you want to switch into?
So a couple side things I'm focused on is the crypto and music producing, and then eventually get into NFTs, that space. So those are the three things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you could be making videos about like why NFTs are better than gold, just as an example, or what really isn't, because even I'm into this crypto space and all that stuff and investing and all that, but I'm still confused about NFTs, and I kind of like I'm hesitant to get into it. Right? Create your own NFTs, like just create a bunch of them. Have you created some already? Yeah.
No, I'm not at that point yet. My thing is you said something that like really struck with me, is you said be ready to be seen. You got to be ready to be seen, and like I struggle with most people struggle with just like that first step, you know what I mean, putting themselves out there. And like it's always, I gotta be ready once I get the camera, once I got this shit ready, once I got this podcast, once I got the right business plan, the right rollout strategy, the right cover art for all my things, you know what I mean? So I know the way to do it is attention, just be seen, and then the things Sumed said about just dropping content or like being of service to others, and then they'll see something years later. Like that's my thing. It's like I don't want to. Attention is only there to touch people for reach. It's not for my ego, and like that's another thing with spirituality. They struggle with money and ego, but that's a different topic. But yeah, just putting yourself out there, that's the main thing. So the analysis paralysis thing, how do you combat that?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
first
Sung.
is to basically tackle that perfectionism in your mind, right? Because it is that thing of like oh, it has to be this perfect way. It has to be dropped by this specific deadline. Or if I don't do it like this, everybody will not like me. So be like, give yourself less constraints when it comes down to putting your stuff out there. It's more
less constraints. Yeah.
Yeah, give yourself less constraint. Just be like, okay, yeah, this is like 70% great. I'm just gonna put this out there as a prototype on a pseudo, like a pseudonym account, you know, like a account, and see if it hits.
Yeah.
You know what? This like that's how I started out. Like I was posting like songs on SoundClick. That was like way back in the day. You know what I mean? Like on like SoundClick. I had
SoundClick, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You've been rapping that long?
Or like datpiff.com, you know what I mean? Mixtape. Like I was doing it, and I had like a weird rap name back then, like Venomous, Comikizer. I had all these weird rap names, man, before I actually decided on scripts, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like still putting the stuff out there because still people were listening to it, resonating with it. I didn't have the voice fully matured. I had like a high pitched ass voice. I was still doing it, you know? So that's how you're gonna learn. And the analogy I want to give you is think of two things: sports and relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like in sports, let's take in relationships first. So like in an intimate relationship with someone, you have the urgency, which is like the spontaneity, right? The sex, the stolen moments, the kind of moments that are random, like you just go to the movies one day, right? But then you also have the trust, you know, the communication, the investment together, and that's the long term. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the fire and the water. So that's how they work together. In sports, you could see like the slam dunks, like, you know what I mean? Like the people, the stolen bases, the people who just come out and like climb the mountain and they just push through. But then there's always like people who lose to the veteran, you know? They lose to the guy who's been longer in the game, and they take their injury seriously, and they take their, you know, energy levels more seriously, or they put in the repetition in the halftime or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, or in the rehearsal time. So yeah, that I wanted to give you those different analogies and see how you can apply that to your business or just to making money, because those are great examples, because it's like this metaphor kind of transcends, you know, outside of business too, into other areas. So I just wanted to give you that perspective that helps it all.
Yeah, that does. The other thing Ryan was mentioning was the systems, and I know a lot of successful people. I know you guys obviously study success. Like they have systems, and I was like, I stayed up all night, just like I'm one of those like self-improvement junkies, you know, just like watch his YouTube video. Like obviously I took action, you know, like I do, you know, but I know I could do more. And but my whole point is I was watching a video, and he was saying how most people have systems. Like the successful people, they track their progress, you know, like their time, how they expend their energy. So what are some, I know accountability groups is great, but what are some systems I can, like we could all implement in our daily lives?
Ryan, you want to take this one?
Yep, here we go. First things first. What is your general objective? From the
Freedom.
objective that you have, let's say your life's purpose, you can have different goals and then the different strategies. And within those strategies, you can start looking up systems and way to measure your progress or, you know, decline. To give an example, I plan on becoming a digital nomad, also to provide myself funding to, you know, set up other businesses and continue on with, you know, wrestling, BJJ, mixed martial arts, whatever. Now, how I like to do this is, one, find the peers that are successful. Who is, let's say, 1 or 2 levels better than me, and figure out how the fuck they got it. For example, organizing an event. Doing my first event on Pains New Profits. Never did such a thing before. Questioned a few people. How did they do it? They basically told me, approach everyone and their mother and, you know, have a simple script. And then start with there. And as things come up, let's say people saying no, or me feeling absolutely embarrassed that I have to move the event many times because they don't have enough of funding yet, I start to realize it's part of the growth. In order to be them, I need to get experience. It's like an RPG. If I go from Mario to Tekken, it's a completely different game. But the higher principle stays, I need to have patience. Now, when you ask me create a system, I'm always reminded of what Alejandro says, don't just create systems, find systems that you can be a part of. Wasn't that right, Alejandro? Like, I think a month ago you said that, right?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
Oh, fuck
I
you.
say a lot of things.
No, but Alejandro made a very good point. It's the same thing with martial arts. It's the same thing with dance. If you want to attract a certain kind of beauty, you can find him in certain kind of clubs. Isn't it right, young hero?
Yeah.
So, what is the success you want? In my case, I want to, slowly go from this wage slave into becoming a freelancer, more than doubling my income. But in order to do that, I need to build a reputation now. Start network, get it as certificates. At the same time, I'm building a business. At the same time, I'm helping my dad to get some percentages in. At the same time, I'm investing as well. I need to play every game I can. I mean, it's the same thing with the women. Why just settle for one? Why not many? In the Netherlands, I will never understand why people feel lonely when you could just pay for a hooker. If sex is not the issue, what then? You know what I mean? Bust the nut and continue on with your life, my friend. It doesn't have to be hard, but what is the most important step for all of us, including me? In my case, would be getting out of my own way.
Yeah.
That's step number one, my friend.
True.
Don't let pride keep you broke. Don't let sadness keep you broke, whatever. If you can find someone that can help you get more money and you need to invest a little bit into their coaching and they have a good track record and they're willing to continue with you, fuck it, why not? And are you willing to get a second job, to invest a bit more into your cryptocurrency or other investments or, dividends? Are you willing? I mean, what are you willing to put down, at the end of the day? Are you willing to build good relationships? Building relationships is hard. I cannot expect my dad, my mom to have the same mindset as me, or the women in my life. I can't expect that. We're supposed to, butt heads or whatever it's called in English. Okay, but you get the point. It's the same thing. What's up, Gil?
Hey man, so I got something inspiring, that Frank
Man,
White
your
showed me.
energy is infectious.
You like my energy is cool?
Yeah, well, cool. I'm cool. You're just infectious as fuck.
Oh shit, that's good news, man. So yesterday,
Every time I
man,
hear you talk, I feel like I want to crump. That's what I'm getting.
you want to what?
Crump.
From?
You know what crump is, right? It's just an American dance style. Yeah, exactly what the Alejandro's
Oh,
doing.
oh shoot. Oh damn. Okay.
Like very wild, very ecstatic, very in your face. But continue,
Damn.
we're saying something.
Yeah, man. So yesterday I was in Frank's White class. He shared something that was really interesting to me that's inspiring. That if you don't trust the universe, it's because you don't trust yourself. I thought that was big, real big, man. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys, man. So that
On the
helps
money.
out. Hell yeah.
You're on the money. Because that would be a derivative of what Frank White said on if you know where you're going, the universe will make way. If you know where you're going, the universe will make way. Either it's like, playing an RPG where you're supposed to save the princess, let's say, right? And you're going to have to level up. And with each level comes a new devil, and you're supposed to beat the devil. You're supposed to beat the obstacles, What does a tiger do? It's supposed to, procreate, make babies, make a clan of tigers, whatever. Right? But if a tiger doesn't trust his instincts, it will die. He knows that at some point I will track a deer or an animal or some fucking poacher asshole, and I will beat the shit out of him and make him my food. And that's some powerful shit you said there, man, because if you don't trust the universe, you can never trust yourself because, you know, Kibayon, he is within me and I am within him.
As above as below. Yeah.
As above is below, exactly. And even deeper, if you believe in the surrender experiment, which has a strong foundation in Zen Buddhism, if there is such a thing as the universe, and if I assume and truly believe that the universe wants the best for me, any obstacle that is placed in front of me, any task, any duty, I will do with love because, you know, it's like you're giving yourself the obstacle. Because at the end of the day, I think either Alejandro or Sumit said this, I think it's one of you two. You have chosen this life, whether you like it or not. You have chosen these problems, whether you like it or not. And it's in your rights to either accept it or not, but you're going to have to deal with it regardless. And it is in how you deal with it, is how you create the happiness that you so much desire. And it's in how you respond to the situation at hand. It's how you receive the blessings. But at the end of the day, I truly believe, like, you know, we're like a dynamo. You know, that those old school bikes would have this machine that as the bike spins, as the wheels of the bike spins, you create energy out of it. I mean, how else would you create fire without some friction? You can't have fire without some friction, because without that friction, there's no heat. You need to invest that energy, man. Else, how will you cook some tikka masala chicken? Huh? Which I'm eating right now. You know what I mean? It's foolish to think the universe doesn't want the best for you. It's foolish to think you shouldn't invest in the universe. It's foolish to think you're not the best in the business. And if I am not so, then fuck it. Beat me up. Let me learn. And the next time I'll be ready for that shit. Alejandro, I feel like you want to say something. Or Sumit.
Yeah. I just wanted to give a few things to Young Hero, you know, before we begin closing. And so get yourself out there, bro. Right? You know, create your name first. Let your name, when people say your name, it automatically is associated with everything that you want it to be associated with. Right? And first, either give it away for free or give it away for really cheap. All right. Start a Telegram group, right? Post links to articles in there, post news, post updates of the crypto world, right? Create a 10-page PDF called The Beginner's Guide to NFTs, to becoming profitable with NFTs and crypto, right? And put it out there, give it away, or sell it for $1, right? You know, if you want to get into the beats, like, you know, create a beats package, and this is a beats package, you know, and sell it, right? That whole thing of like getting, literally, just when people say your name, they have to think this other thing as well, right? So that's what I was gonna say.
Just one more question. In terms of like a practical thing, do you guys have a goal setting process? Like journaling in terms
Yep.
of
Here we
that?
go.
Yeah.
One, I like to call this an all-purpose goal setting thing. It's good for startups, it's good for your personal life, it's good for basically everything. I think it was developed by some European motherfucker. It's called OGSM. Objective, goals, strategies, and measures. You could do this on an A4 printing paper. Your objective is whatever you want. In my case, it would be funding my freedom. And you know, you need to be specific about what that freedom means, meaning I can travel the world, I can do my martial arts, you know. Your objective is your ideal life, let's say. Right? And the
Yeah.
goals are, name 5 to 6 goals for, let's say, that you want to reach this year that is aligned, you know, shameless plug, aligned with that objective. And then you have the strategy. The strategy can simply be, you know, what needs to be done in order to reach these goals, right? That could be, you know, these activities need to be done and who do I need there? for that? Am I enough? And I competent enough to do this? Do I need a coach? Do I need to, finance a team to help me out? Do I need to invest in systems? Do I need a bookie or an actual accountant at some point? And at the last column, you would need something akin to measuring my success and decline. Because let's face it, it's supposed to be a roller coaster. I'm supposed to have success and learning moments. How do I measure that? You could look at the financial bottom line, which is your investment, your ROI, your actual cost, meaning that money you'll never get again. And those three are usually the financial fundamentals of any company or any person, I should say.
What were
And
the three again?
I think it was investments, ROI, and actual costs. Investments being we're expecting returns at some point. The return is the actual value of it, the percentage. And it costs we'll never get that back again. Like investing in hookers. Anyway, a random joke in there. And all the other measures have to do with the actual process. Meaning, if you're training for a marathon, I'm expecting you to run at least 10 to 20 kilometers per week, because you're supposed to train for that. Are you taking enough rest, etc.? So whatever your life objective is, or whatever ideal life that you want, can be put simply on a paper. And taking reference from Gil, Frank White believes before you even begin on a vision board, write down what you want. And from, writing down the life that you want, I've taken that and broken it down into, if this is the ideal life, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20, 60 years from now, referencing writing reality. What are the obvious goals? What are the obvious strategies that have to be, implemented, used, executed by either me or the guys from Fiverr or the guys that I hire locally? At some point, me as a business owner, why am I doing business? Am I doing business for my pleasure, or am I trying to build a lifestyle? Am I building a freedom that I haven't seen before? Or is it a deeper fulfillment? There are so many whys attached to this that it is within my purpose, to not only build a better life for me, but actually finance friends. So no longer is it about just goals. It's about leaving a legacy, young hero.
That sounds like what the purpose is.
And the only thing I taught you was some motivational speaking and just let's say an accountability goal setting method that can be done in one A4 paper. And if ever you decide to build a business with other people, this is the way to do this. Because at the end of the day, if sales and finance start fighting and bickering over the same bullshit, we have that A4 paper to reference back to the OGSM. And then we can, follow the lines back and figure out where things went wrong. And it will save us all so much headache and finger pointing and frustration.
When you go down the line of like thinking of your goals and your ideal life, do you think do you plan it in terms of long term, or do you do short, like a month goal, 2 week goal?
Well, that's up to you. That's up to you. What I prefer is, I have some.
I feel like I just overanalyze it maybe too much.
Well, I get the feeling that we're extremely similar in that sense.
Mind if I take over this?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, set up a condition of your life, right? What is the condition you want to live in? And then if you're not living there yet, well, then you're not there yet, And you simplify it, bro, because anytime that it gets too complex, you're in the wrong direction, bro. Because life is simple, right? So if it's all complex and stuff, you're going in the wrong way, right? So I'll say it again, bro. It's like, where do you want to be? Live that life. And if you're not there yet, get there. right? And then when you're there, you're living that life and you're enjoying it. And if you want something else at that point, you set a new condition for your life. What is it that I want to really live again? Right? And that condition will continue to change as you continue to evolve, right? You know, and one more thing, you know, don't focus on the numbers. Focus on what you're gonna buy with those numbers, right? You know, a lot of people always, you know, like one of the things we do in writing reality, you know, we find out the number that is of money that it's important to us and what we're gonna buy with it, right? As simple as that, right? Because if you just focus on numbers, it's not real.
You mean rather than focus on how much is coming in, you focus on what you can do with it?
Kind of. I'm saying like instead of focus on on how much money you want to. First, you got to find out how much what you actually want to do with that money, right? It can't just be like, oh, I want $1 million because I want $1 million. Like you're not gonna have the motivation to actually go after it, right? So instead of you have like what I'm gonna buy with it, what I'm gonna use that money with, what I'm gonna change with that money, how my life is gonna be, how am I gonna enjoy life? That's more motivational. You're gonna have more energy to pursue things, right? You get, and that it comes down to that. Do you have the energy to actually go after it, right? I'm gonna let Soon conclude as we're reaching like 2 hours.
Yeah, man, facts. I was just gonna remind everyone. And yeah, Tony, I know you came in late. Welcome, brother. Definitely watch the recording. So, man, I did the journaling thing the other day, which is called Golden Shadow. So basically, just want to recommend this to everybody. You know, find out the version of you that you fear, the too awesome version of you, the version that's too fly, the version that's way too talented that you're kind of scared of him. And just start journaling, just start writing about that version of you. And oftentimes you'll get a lot of great ideas and things you can pull from in terms of, like what you said, in terms of your goals and the next steps, because then you have a clearer picture of like, oh, that's my shadow, right? That's my golden shadow. That's something that is actually I'm too afraid of, or I can't judge that version of me enough. So, and I also think of goals like cheat meals. I think of cheat goals. Okay, so basically, like if I don't make my breath work in time, I'll do a meditation. If I don't get the meditation, you know, I'll do a shower meditation. If I don't do the shower meditation, I'll listen to a guided recording as I'm in the car. If I don't get the guided recording in the car, I'll go for a walk and meditate while I'm walking. So I'll have renditions. I'll plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, and if I miss out on something, I always have something to fall back on. And that's the way that I approach goals. So I just wanted to say that finally. But yeah, guys, we're wrapping up. Thank you so much for being here. Have a blessed day. Stay legendary. May you never be the same again. Be the best. Fuck the rest. You already know what it is. Peace.